Okay. I think, well, I got some sleep and some time. And I think I remember, I was looking like through my journaling and post history and whatnot. And even my texts. And it was like July. Because my neurologist is an NP named Steve. And for some reason he said that Flexerol is habit forming. Even though in my lifetime it never was. Because I've been made fun of by 2 different providers for abusing it. They said that I could be addicted to a Pebble right now, or a box of Kleenex. Because I used to like just pop them and then like my whole body would slow down and I'd feel my heartbeat like walking up the hill. That was briefly, and that was when I was in a lot of pain back when. So, but anyways, he gave me baclofen instead, which I'm not supposed to take because I had a stroke. But I recall, because I had my MacBook at the time, I could look stuff up. And, like, it has, like, in baclofen overdoses, it mimics brain death. Because you completely lose reflexes in your brain stem. And I'm like, and I had already taken it, because I'm like, oh, well, I might as well try it. So I do this thing where I pretend like I'm stupid. And then I become that, you know. And, over and over and over again. Because I think that, like, I'll find out something new from the other person's perspective. But then, come to find out, that person's perspective never even existed. Like, I always... I didn't know that, like... I know that, like, you can get away with it, because I was an alcoholic for 7 years. Hit my head, stuff like, I know that it's possible to get through on substances and not have but I don't know, I didn't know that so many, anyways, July. So I took the baclofen, and I didn't have the Flexerol, and he was giving me a hard time. Like a really hard time. And I didn't have a doctor at the time, or my doctor. I went to my primary care doctor, who was a different one, who I'm going back to the old one. I even brought Ghost. This was like before he was certified, and I brought Ghost, and he didn't even pee in the bathroom, and he waited the whole time, and the doctor came in, and we were there for like 2 hours for no reason. I don't know why. And he jumped up on the table like he was the patient. And at the end, I'm like, she was like, oh, have you ever tried Cymbalta? And I was like, and like I got belligerent. I got completely belligerent. Because I'm like, that's how I got serotonin syndrome the first time. Like, what year? Why? Like, and I even introduced myself in the conversation. I was like, I don't know why I come with a solution, a question, an answer, and you guys convolute it, and you come back with all these extra questions, and then I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. And that happened exactly after I said it. And at the end, she concluded that she wasn't going to write a script for anything. Like, we were like 3 months past the DNR situation. No, I filled it out myself while I was in psychosis at my old doctor's office that I'm going to go back to. But they're on vacation, so... Ghost, like, his face, when he realized that she wasn't going to do anything, he was like... And then it just kept... And then when I finally talked to Dr. Geary on August 5th, that was like maybe the second dated YouTube I ever made. I felt bad. And right after I made that video, I took the Seroquel, and my eyes started to shake, and I got really sick. And I, like, got whiplash. For some reason, I think in the brain's healing process, and then from the stress and all the drugs that I ever did, and just who I am, and then the Seroquel, it was like probably a 200 XR, because that's what I would... Too much. Too much. For me personally. And I, like, lost my mind. And I was like, you know, it's okay if I just never even get it back, you know? And then August was the art show, but I remember I was like over a muscle roller. And then I took a Flexeril from my mom, which was a generic kind, like through Walmart. Like it was blue. And I took them home, so I was like rationing them out until as long as I could. And I broke out in hives, and I took some hydroxyzine and went to the ER at Memorial, and it was anaphylactic shock. And I was proud. They were like, oh shit, you know, and like I was really calm about it because I was like, my throat's closing and everything. And they were like, oh my god. And then I was like, I'm allergic to prednisone. Like, I just like being annoying. And the x-ray guy was like, oh shit, because I had the rash going up my face and everything. And then they gave me Decadron, which is just one steroid pill. And I go to Walgreens and they're like, have Ghost with like one pill. And then I kind of go like manic. Not really though, but it's like a strong steroid. And then I think I took another baclofen because I'm a fucking idiot. Because I didn't have enough Flexeril. And I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to. But I never even told my neurologist that I had a stroke. Because like, I didn't want to overwhelm him with the information. But I went into the neurologist's office with the pill bottles in my hands, shaking them. Has the name, it's the actual pill. And they still didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, I cannot take this. And I need more of this, the orange cyclobenzaprine. And I'm sorry, but in my entire existence, addicts, not stereotyping, just straight up addicts that I knew that used drugs and substances and wanted to get high, had never in my life asked me for Flexeril. They were always asking for baclofen. Or real drugs, you know. And and like, I'm still kind of baffled, but I am going to finally see the MD. But it has been so long. I'll see the MD in March for my PRN migraine medicine that people don't know what it is, because it's not the first one. It's not sumatriptan, it's rizatriptan, because I'm special. It's called Maxol, and it's not unheard of. And my cyclobenzaprine. I remember like being on my deathbed on my floor, and my friend like emulsified vegetables into rice so that I could eat it. And he found one, and he's like, I don't know what it is. He's like 0.2, and he looked up, and I'm like, it's a muscle relaxer. I'm like, yeah, it's good, it's fine. But I think the whole generic Walmart thing is like, the Indian pharmaceutical, like in a bad way. I don't know, I haven't looked into it, because I know too much already. And it's not even like I know too much, they're trying to kill me. It's like I know too much and nobody else does. That's crazy. So anyways, the steroid exposure caused a macular cyst in this eye, and so there was fluid that leaked behind my eye, so I was blind, like, and I was worried it was retinal detachment, because that's the only thing I know as far as like the circle of your vision going. He's like, no, it's just this cyst, like, it might go away on its own, but I'll refer you to the specialist. And then my dumbass was right here, and I thought I had my sunglasses on, and I shone the light, the blue laser that you can light your fucking cigarette with, that singed a hole in my pants. I did that to my eyeball, my right eyeball, and I was like, did I like, because I was thinking, I was like, did I just do that? And then with the time travel and the light going through the I was like, I didn't just retroactively blind myself, right? Like, that was like the initial, it was before my thoughts were articulated in my own head. Forgive me. So I checked my camera and I watched myself look at the thing and look at the camera like, what the? So I was blind in both eyes. Like I say, I looked at but I had like some peripheral and like your brain fills it in. So like I could kind of like read and stuff like that, but it was really hard. And when I bought a Monster energy drink and a NOS energy drink, I have to drink NOS because it doesn't give me a migraine. Monsters do. It's been that way for ages, but I got it home, and I eventually noticed that it was a fucking green monster can that's black and green, and not a blue and orange one. And they are this big, metallic, and I was like, alright, I'm blind, you know. So I was getting around doing whatever I had to do. For a while. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, honestly. I can't remember. I was in so much pain, I could barely get up. I couldn't see. But I pulled it off really well. And then I discovered this back brace thing. And that is how I got around for a while. So the one day when the vet brought me somewhere, and like it came out in his truck. The interior is black. And I'm like, can you please? I have to find that. That's the only one I have. And I'm like freaking out. And he's just like eating cookies. And he's like, what? I'm like, can you please feel with your hands and look with your eyes and get it? And he went in the truck and he got it out and gave it to me. I'm like, was that hard? He's like, no. I'm like, dude, I'm blind. Like, I'm blind. And like everywhere I went, even the retina specialist, the doctor was like, oh my gosh, like I had to make sure it was still you, because they have a thing that scans your eyes and shows you like the topography of your eyeball. It's so cool. And it takes like 2 seconds, and then he had to make sure I was the same person. I'm like, yeah, it's me. So he dilated my eyes and he looked at them, and they were the same eyes, same person. Proof, evidence, you know. And he showed me the scans, and this one had healed, the cyst finally healed. So I was like getting my vision back in my left eye. I don't know, my migraines and everything else, though. Sometimes it's hard to see. And then seizures. Oh my god. But anyways, it was like so crazy, because he's like, I couldn't believe it was the same person in 3 weeks. And I didn't tell anybody that I blew it out with a laser pointer. I was trying to blame the Zyprexa. I was too embarrassed. And it was so cool. Then I got to the desk, and the nurse manager lady was like, oh, we should have mailed you some paperwork now that you're blind in both eyes. And I was like, what the fuck? And they just like gave me those cataract glasses. I always had sunglasses on though, so maybe I just took them. Can't remember. And then I had to like go catch a bus, and I'm like, the fuck? Hello. And then like, even when I have my vision, if I ask the bus driver a question, they're like, still, I'm like, why do they make these two buses go why do I keep getting dropped off and go, oh, like the buses look the same? And then everybody I've ever talked to recently is like, this bus is never on time. Or like, that bus just left me and it just drives right back. And I'm like, what the hell? One time in college, I was running so fast, and I was on the phone with Micah, because I had laser pointer. Because I was on Spectrum, so it was shut off since August. That's another thing. I was on airplane mode from Ellis in August. Like, pinging stuff. And I'm like, hello! And I have to, like, run outside and jump on the igloo. And, like, is anybody there? And they're like, Leah, you called so many times. You're like, oh, I'm busy. You're like, I didn't know who they were. Or, I'm like, what time is it, you know? So I goes, and I never wanted to ping it at the vet's house, because I didn't, there's like a certain, I just know, okay? So, Maria was on the phone with me, and the first bus, I had this, and like, they just passed me. So the second bus, I was running. I was like, can you stay on the phone? And I ran, and I got on the bus, and I was running, like, I had so much inertia, I just, like, fell all the way. It was like getting tackled here when I got tackled from there to there. So that's the length of the house. I fell almost all the way to the back door. And that was the day the bus was full of people. And I was like, they didn't even ask me to pay or come back or anything. I just... And that bus doesn't go across the train tracks. No, you gotta walk from there. So, with the epilepsy thing, even the crosswalks have like blinking, flashing lights. And you know, you shut your eyes for that test, and it shows agitation and strobing lights. So I'm like, can you not? And then there's no button to feel. It's a sensor that you can trip with this. Yeah, I finally believe in Helen Keller. But now, like, that we have the technology, go to a doctor with a pill bottle with the pills in it. The eye doctor, I still haven't even filled it out. Cause like, honestly, it looks like, you ever seen those filters that like sucks the middle of the picture? That's what it's like. So like, if I watch a video on my phone, it has that effect. Cause like, the hole has closed quite a bit. I figure it's like a burn, so like it'll heal. I'm glad it's healing on its own. I think they would just have to use like different like homing type lasers to fix it. Oh. But you know what happened in the middle was, it was September 6th, I think. And it was like a Friday. And so I figured, ghosts seemed to be breathing funny, but I was already doing the portal thing. And I was isolated for a while already. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I'll just take him to the emergency clinic in Latham. And I followed the GPS. And apparently they opened another one in Latham. And I'm pretty sure it was 222 Route 2. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, is this the eye place? And I took the dog in, Ghost, and I'm like, he's my service dog. I don't know if he's breathing funny or if I'm going to have a seizure. And I'm the dipshit that comes out driving in a car and saying shit like that. Now I'm not going to get my license back. It's by my own, it's, if it's on me, I should do it. So anyway, I was like, I'm going to go outside and get some air. And I let them check him. And I went outside. It was just grounding, right? Basic shit. Anyway, the one girl comes out. She's like, oh, it's okay. Like, I'm epileptic too. Understand, like, I was throwing up at Burger King and everybody thought I was crazy. I'm like, okay. And I was like, all right. And the cops show up. The Colony police show up. And I'm like, what the hell? And I was like, can I please see my dog? And they had locked him inside. And I was like, what the? Like, Colony is where I never got caught for the accidents. And Colony is where I showed up in a wheelchair and I'm still convinced I saved $20. Like, my whole life. Like, and that's my dog. Like, that's why I got sober anyways. He was my service dog. And so I feel like I saw, like, I really did have a psychotic break. And I was groveling, like, on the ground, and my blood was smeared on the sidewalks, like, from begging them not to take him. And then I told the Colony EMS, or whatever EMS it was, I was like, I have to go to Memorial, because they know my allergies, because they treated me with respect. They offered me admission because of my history of respiratory depression. And they're both called Samaritan, technically, right? But I clearly said I need to go to Memorial Loudonville. And they dropped me. I didn't even realize it, though, because I really was kind of still a little bit blind. Responsible. And I didn't, until they shut the door of crisis. And I was like, you fucking lied to me. And she was like, I was like, what the fuck? And that's when I think I lost my dog. I don't know if it was 4 days or 10 days. I can't remember. But the vet clinic had the audacity to call me and say that I had to move my car and I owed them $300. So my vet was like, I just want to go inside. He moved my car and he took the dog boarding. And like, it was repeated after that. And that's when I got robbed and everything. Like, again. And, I still have the portals thing going on, but nobody knows what that is. Like, I could be here for an eternity again. I really don't want to. It's 26th. It's the day after Christmas. It's a Thursday. And now, my new case manager's good. And my new psychiatrist, he's from Canada, fresh off the press. And I think he must have specialized in neurology. He's on the board, and he said he had to because they make you do that in Canada. So, but he was like, oh, so with your stroke, does it cause agitation? I'm like, yes. Yes, because I actually am lost. I didn't know I was at the wrong vet clinic. I really couldn't find the hospital that day. I don't know who you are. I have the literal right temporal atrophy, which is the Alzheimer's. Which is what Alzheimer's patients have. And he actually knew what the International Baccalaureate program was. He's like, that's an intensive program. I'm like, oh, he's heard of it. I still have to look at the medal to spell baccalaureate. But I wrote my extended essay on how isolation influences dementia. So I did study that. Like through Union College and database and everything. And I got the diploma. And then I worked as a CNA. In COVID, I saw everybody get dementia. And I feel like we're still in the wreck of that. And there's no tactile. People make fun of me for wanting buttons, but without the tactile response, and the flashing, and the LEDs, and the no humanity, at least somebody took Helen Keller's hand. You know? I've been at Cumbies once, because I had the portal gun and my dog, and she was like, because I was like, can I wash my hands? I was like, oh, that's so much fucking easier. I didn't take it as aggressive as all. I'm like, please. And then Christmas Eve, I did go to Dollar General, get some stuff, and this girl with a cart and her mom, she's like, are you in line? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, you can just go ahead of me. I don't know what's going on. And she was like, I was like, sorry, I can't see that well. And she was like, you're standing next to the line. The line is right here. And she pointed to the floor, and I moved my stuff there. And then for a couple minutes, some other guy with a grill, and he's like, yo, I was in California, this is different up here. And I'm like, welcome. And he was talking about the weather. And then the little girl was like, Merry Christmas. I was like, oh. I'm fucking hella jaded. Yes, I am. But I am also very fucking lost and confused. But I didn't drink. I'm always thinking. And I don't like to go to meetings.